Hi Maniacs! Welcome back to another Pokemon business video. If you're new here, my name is Julie, I run a Pokemon card business and I'm also a full-time content creator within the Pokemon space. Happy 2026, it's been a while and I'm happy to be back on the channel. Hopefully we'll have some fun stuff happening within the first few months of this year, so stay tuned for new streams, ripships and also new content coming up across all platforms. I have something quite exciting planned for you and I will be redoing my entire booster pack collection, so there's definitely something exciting to look forward to. Today I wanted to talk about Pokemon content creation in 2026, and now that we're in the new year I thought we could do a bit of a throwback with these Paldean Legends tins and then have a chat. So stay tuned if you want to know how you can generate more sales and how you can get more followers and likes on your posts in 2026. Let's dig into these tins. Black Star promo card. Black Star promo. Our pack selection today is 4 packs of Paldea Evolved, 2 packs of Scarlet Violet Base, and 2 packs of Silver Tempest. As some of you guys may already know from previous videos and following along on my journey, I started primarily doing like social media and content creation. I wasn't really in the, you could say, Pokemon business space when I first started out. It kind of happened after a bit of time gaining quite a big following on TikTok. Not necessarily a very big following, but just more than, you know, the usual, I would say. And because of my collection, I had a lot of inquiries about, you know, acrylics, where do I buy my acrylic casing for booster boxes and stuff. I kind of found a space where there could be a need for me to open a shop primarily just with acrylic storage and stuff, to kind of carry on what I was doing already in my personal collection. So that's kind of where the idea originally started. I did also get quite a few good acrylics for sale, but it wasn't really anything big. And I also think it was maybe the wrong place to put my money at the time, because I think Pokemon products and the content in itself would probably have done a lot better than like the first part of the business venture. Now I still have my web shop live, but I mostly do it, you know, to do ripships and stuff like that. So of course I update it, but it's not really what I spend most of my time on, if I have to be completely honest. I still love my webshop and I love running it, but what's very fun about running a business is definitely vending at shows. But that is kind of besides the point of this video. What I think is super important is in 2026 that we are focusing our content on becoming more authentic. You know, with everything technology-wise, AI-wise, moving in a direction where it's getting harder to find real connection, real people in the space. I mean, both Pokemon, other TCGs, and generally it could be anything at this point that could be, you know, generated and not really be personal content. I think that's definitely the strength that you can use during 2026, is that a lot of content will be more AI generated and seem a little bit less personal. I think the trends that we saw in like 10 years ago were that many YouTubers and content creators were quite polished. You know, everything would have to be super like studio lighting and studio cameras, and they would have people, managers doing everything and setting stuff up, and it would be, you know, so kind of out of reach. And I think that was just what worked back then, and I was also complete sucker for that type of content. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying as a content creator, and if you are trying to create a community and generate sales, I think it's definitely important that you make the switch to very personal content, like we talk about FaceTime content, where you literally just pull up your phone and start recording yourself like if you were on a FaceTime call with a friend or someone else in the community. And I definitely think that that's the key to content right now, is making it at least seem low effort. You know, quality is still a thing, so like you should have valid points, you should be entertaining. Our attention spans has definitely also decreased, I think, a bit. So you still have to, you know, really be upbeat and do something that's fun and interesting. so people don't, fall asleep or scroll past your content. But having that more personal edge, I think, is what is going to drive a community and make people want to favor your content over anyone else's. Because of course there's a lot of competition at this point, both on the content game and also in the Pokemon space, like business-wise. So I think the best thing that you can do right now is to really step into the era of you being almost like an influencer more than a content creator. I know that's kind of been the bad word in this space over the past few years. I don't really see why. Personally, I wouldn't mind someone saying that I was an influencer. I know that my following is not necessarily the size that's what you would say, right? But I do think that no matter what you call it, I think that very personal connection to your audience is what is needed at this point to really do anything amazing in the content game, and to stand out from the rest of the videos and the content creators that are coming up right now. I think you definitely have to do something that's quite a lot different than what everyone else is doing to stand out. And I also think, like, we're talking comfort creators is a big term, or was at least in 2025. So, someone who you can rely on to post. It's always a thing about consistency, right? With content creation. We want people to be, super consistent and have a posting schedule. And we know, that every day that there's a new video from this creator. And of course, is what we should aim for. I know that it's not necessarily realistic to everyone, and you shouldn't feel bad if that's the case for you, that you aren't able to post like every day or multiple times a week, also depending on the platform and if it's long form or short form content, of course. Oh, look at the fluffy. Like, no matter how you are able to really like do your posting, I think it's super important that you try to post something at least, and try to be consistent, if that's being consistent once a week, or if it's being consistent, like every day or multiple times a day, at least on TikTok. I know can be a game changer. But be someone that your community can rely on. Also, maybe in terms of if there are things happening that requires an opinion, it can be nice to have creators that you're following that you can look to get those opinions. So if anything is happening, or new products are launching, you can hear their take. So I think all of these things are super important, and bottom line is, do something that will create a community for you, because that's kind of what will carry you and move you forward, I think, within this business. So that's definitely my tip in this kind of short, but also just start of 2026 type of video. I think get the personal content out there, be yourself, do fun things. Pokemon is a fun hobby. We should do fun things, and it's the same if you are doing content within any other TCG or anything that's alike. I mean, if you watch this channel, I guess it's because you can relate to the content in some capacity. So yeah, do something that's authentic to you, and it will be authentic to your audience. And I hope that this helps a bit. I will dive a bit deeper in some of my upcoming videos, so look out for that. And I will look forward to showing you guys what I have been planning for 2026. We have a lot of events coming up, so if you are in Denmark, you should definitely go to all your local card shows. We'll be at a lot of them. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that I'll see you in the next video. You would probably want to click the one right here and watch that, because I do actually believe that that is something you would enjoy. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.